Welcome to the Digging Deep ATVMX Podcast with your host, hailing from Kokona, Wisconsin, riding a CST Tires SSI decals traveling back Yamaha YFC 450R, four-time ATV Motocross National Champion, number 25, Cody Jansen.
What's up, everybody?
We're back.
Welcome to the latest edition of the Digging Deep ATVMX Podcast, episode 167 of the Digging Deep ATVMX Podcast, presented by our title sponsor, CST Tires, in stock and available for purchase today at shop.csttires.com. I'm your host, Cody Jansen, saying hello to our more than 292,000 monthly Digging Deep listeners in all 141 countries in which you are listening, and this is part one of our latest sit-down with legendary 8-time series champion Chad Wienen, who rode off into the sunset with a win at his final race of his career. This part one is more focused on every detail of the Briarcliff finale and the Quadcross of Nations, where part two will be more of a career wrap-up of sorts. We'll release that one in the coming days. But this is the best version of Chad Wienen I can ever remember. He's joined us so many times on the show. So sit back and enjoy living the storybook ending of one of the greatest careers ever in ATV motocross. But first, let's quickly shout out all of our incredible partners. CST Tires, go to shop.csttires.com today. Yamaha, thanks to Blue Crew. Thanks to SSI Decals, Valvoline, DID Racing Chain, Lauderdale Steel Enterprises and Concrete Supply, DP Brakes, Impact Solutions, and Ultimate Poly Products, UPP Racing, our choice when it comes to case savers, chain sliders, intake manifolds, and more. Use discount code DIGGINGDEEP15 at uppracing.com. Support all the great companies that support us, and for any products that fall through the cracks, click that Rocky Mountain ATVMC banner on our website. It's that time of year, the off season is here, and we both know you and your machine both could use some TLC. No matter what off-road gear parts you need, Rocky Mountain ATVMC has you covered. But before you buy, simply click that Rocky Mountain ATVMC banner on our website. By using our specific link, we get a percentage of what you buy on the back end, enabling you to help us out while purchasing the parts you need anyway. And did you know you can buy OEM parts from Rocky Mountain ATVMC as well? Yep, shipped conveniently right to your door. So click that Rocky Mountain ATVMC banner at diggingdeepatvmx.com to help us out while satisfying all your gear and parts needs. Shout out to all of our donors. If you are interested in donating and hearing your name on the show, you can find the Patreon or Buy Me a Coffee donation links on our website. Major thanks to all who have donated, of course. Now, if you can't donate, but you still want to help us out, you can leave us a rating or a review on iTunes and Spotify because that helps us out a bunch too. Now, it's showtime. The 30-second port is up. It's sideways and the gate is down. Time to dig deep.
Let's go!
All right, guys, super stoked about tonight's conversation with our 8-time series champion that completed his career with a walk-off win at the finale there at Briarcliff. Brought to you by DID Racing Chain and their 520 ATV2 X-Ring chain. This guy is on the box for said chain, which is pretty awesome from DID. Say hello to none other than Mr. Chad Wienen. Chad, welcome back to Digging Deep. It's been a couple months. A lot of cool things have happened since the last time we talked to you. Welcome back to the show, pal.
Yeah, Cody, thanks, man. Yeah, it's been busy. After that big win to finish the season, then we had the Nations, and I still was doing some traveling and stuff like that. So it's been busy, but yeah, now time to settle down and talk this over with you. And just even like you messaged me, it seemed like a month ago when you're like, hey, when do you want to chat? And I'm like, yeah, I'll hit you up here soon. And just the fatherhood's been taking over and making sure I get plenty of time in with the kids right now.
Well, that's awesome, man. Credit to you for prioritizing that. And I knew, kind of like I told you before we hit record, I knew that when the dust settled, we'd be able to recount some things. And maybe even after time has passed a little bit, maybe that even makes the conversation a little better. I didn't want to bother you. I knew right after Briarcliff, things are still crazy leading up to the Nations race. Right after the Nations race, I know you're, like you said, you're still doing traveling and all those things. So yeah, perfect time for it. And last time we chatted with you, Chad, it was still pre-Briarcliff at that point. you were emotional talking about, the finale to come and your walk-off race, your last dance, you called it, and all those things. And at that time, we're talking about this event, and obviously we didn't know it was going to end with a walk-off win. So I'm sure you had visions of, your career ending with a win. That's inevitably what you were thinking about, leading up to that event for sure. But tell me about what it was like when you rounded the first corner and you look good all day, right? You look good all day. You look strong. It seemed like you were friggin' locked in. But you round the first corner in that first moto. And to me, like from my vantage point in the tower announcing the event, it looked like all of a sudden, like everything cleared, like you're out in front. There is nobody alongside you even. It's all you. So I got to think in that moment, it's like, here we go. Maybe, today's the day. Cause it's, not a ton of laps led in this season, Chad. So it's like from the start of that last day of your career, it's almost like, man, it's all coming together. So take me through what it was like as that day started. We're kind of picking up this conversation where we ended the last one. Yeah. What did it feel like rounding the corner, first moto, Triple Crown, last event of at least your AMA career, full-time career, at least? Take me through what that was like and what in your mind you were thinking as you kind of went off to the races one final day.
Yeah, like I'll definitely hit on that, but I had like a really cool moment in time qualifying where like going out, I feel really good on the machine, clicking. I go after a couple of heater laps, and I remember coming around, I was like, Thomas gave me the P2, and I was like, all right, like I got more than that. So I chilled a lap, and then I put another heater in, came around, he gave me the P1. I'm like, damn it. Like I got it today, like in my head, like, I'm like, I got everything going for me. I feel good in the machine. Just ripped a couple, just kept rolling a couple laps. I seen Joel was putting some heaters into, and him and I were going a little back and forth, and, he ended up putting one in. Like, I remember he was in front of me starting the last lap, and I was like, okay, like I'm going to, ride with him this last lap and see, mm-hmm. Like in time qualifiers in the past, like he just does a steady gapping job to me where it's just like I'm losing a lot of time, and I'm behind him on this lap, and I'm like, I'm actually like not losing anything. I feel like I'm actually gaining a little bit in some spots, which was like, I remember those days, and like, it was like kind of like a flashback to the past almost. And we finished that lap, and I think he was like 2/10 faster than me. And I was like, okay, like
I'm there.
We're there today. And second qualifier, we went out, didn't really change anything. I was kind of just riding my laps and trying to put some good laps in. And I think everybody stepped up a little bit, but like Joel gapped me a little bit, and then Kevin Sarr put in a good lap too. So I ended up P3, which I was super happy about. Set me up for that first moto. So I think like that first moto, Brandon Hogue was next to me, and he had the issues of not getting his machine going off the line. And I was like, okay, like I got some extra room to the right of me. So I came out of the start and I nailed it, like rocking it out of there, kind of like Chad Wienen whole shot off the back of the bike, riding like a little steady, like power wheelie through it, and ripped a start. Didn't see anybody. Go around that first turn, still don't hear anybody. I keep going, and I start to notice like Bryce was there, but man, coming around that first turn and just being like, all right, here we go. Didn't know anything was going on behind me. No. And I was like, okay, like kind of checking your marks here and there. And just that feeling of like leading that race, knowing that I had pace that weekend was like, all right, Chad, like we're gonna put in some heaters, and we did. And Bryce was keeping pace with me pretty well.
He was frisky early. Yeah, he was frisky early.
He really was. And like we came into this I would call it like I don't know what side of the track it is, but behind the whole shot area. And Thomas and I did a track walk, and we were like, okay, like this could be a passing point. Like if you got the right angle, and he did that exact move, and he ended up getting on the inside of me, and hit me pretty good to get over and it pushed me over the berm. And I was just like that when he did that, like that fired me up so much. I'm like, dude, like, come on, like this is going to be my last race professionally here. And I'm like, you got to go ahead and do this. So I was like, I fought back and I got back into the lead by the end of the split lane and I never saw him again. So I was like, okay, like, so, but that definitely fired me up. But, like clicking off those laps, it felt like, just like I said, it was like me in the past of being at my best and riding at my best. And Thomas on the pit board, he was so stoked. He was keeping me going. And the fans were lit up like for me. And that was special because you come over like Bigfoot and you just hear the roar of the crowd and it was like every lap. So I was pumped, brought it home in first for that first moto.
Yeah.
And I was like through the year, like I've been kind of like very like nervous, like because I know where I want to perform at, but I wasn't riding at my best to be at that level. And I was like, and I just felt kind of free this weekend because I knew that everything was trending the right way for me. Like I had a great couple weeks at home training, and then I had a good race at Pleasure Valley. Yeah, previous to the second moto hole shot, and I was like, okay, like you're in the right direction, you're going, and literally. So I had some riders from Europe that came over that I housed with my truck that weekend. And I literally hung, like I would come after the motos. I would take an ice bath. I would sit outside the truck for a little bit, debrief with Thomas, and I would go on my motorhome. Like, I'm like, I don't want anything about any part of what's going on out there or anybody bothering me. And like, it was funny. I was talking with Thomas the other day and he's like, dude, I've been telling you to stay in your motorhome all year long, but yet you're out hanging out with people and this and that. I'm like, like it helped me like calm my nerves because like talking to people or sitting in the motorhome by myself was like, it was like gut wrenching because like, I just wasn't at my best. So it was like you're talking yourself off the cliff to be like, you'll be good, you'll be fine, but like, that's kind of like first like rookie year type feels what I was feeling at points this year because I knew that the pressure that I put on myself was to ride up front. And I was like, I'm not riding my best to be able to do that. And I was doing it that weekend.
Well, and you said to us earlier in the year that you had a little bit of a weight of like, I could go faster, but I don't really feel comfortable going faster at times. And it just seemed like, and you kind of outlined this already, but from the beginning of this day, that final day, for all the reasons you kind of already said, but you didn't feel that on that last day of your career, which was awesome. You had that freeing feeling and it looked like it, Chad. It looked like it, just like you said. And I guess not so fresh on my mind was qualifying, but seeing you go back and forth with Joel. And then I remember exactly that with you and Bryce coming together. And sometimes that's all it takes to, to click it into like, okay, I am as locked in as I can be mode rather than just race mode. And like you said, it was kind of off to the races after that. Perfect first moto. The energy was palpable. Like I had the hair on my arm standing up, watching it all go down. It was amazing. And, then I don't know at what point you realized, something happened to Joel, but I would assume any human, especially in your position, is thinking, okay, so like now this is probably really realistic because obviously the dude that had won every moto leading up to this one in the season, probably not going to win the overall. I would think in between that first and second moto, you're like, okay, it actually could happen today. This could actually be the day I could actually get my walk-off win. I mean, you're as legendary of a champion as there's ever been. So like, I realize you go into all of these motos thinking you're going to win, but I would think after that first moto and then realizing, what happened to your biggest competitor, it probably really got real after that.
Oh, for sure. It got very real. And I figured it out after, like on the podium. I'm always like, wondering what's going on, even whether it's in front of me or behind me. And,
sure,
Thomas came in and told me what position Joel got. And I was like, okay, like I'm already thinking in my head, calculating what I have to do the rest of the day to basically secure the win. And it's been a long time since I was going through those scenarios, like because what was it, 2023? Loretta's, I think, was my last one. Just going through that scenario in my head, and it was awesome because the nerves were gone, the fight was there, everything that I've been looking for all season long was like, it was all coming back to me.
And I would assume with the way that it worked out for you, everything slowed down a little bit. Like the pace you had on this day, it doesn't even matter what anybody else had going on, but the pace you had on this day and the way you were jiving with the racetrack, it was just like you were in control of what was going on instead of holding on to be at pace and race with the dudes around you. That wasn't it on this day. It was, you had the pace to set the pace kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah. And, like I was definitely riding like my best laps, like that first moto. And then I go into, like Moto 2 where I'm like, okay, like let's go for another start. Let's do that. And
dude, your starts were on point all day.
Yeah. Crazy. I knew I like it. When we did our practice starts, like Thomas and I was like, I'm like, dude, I'm nailing these things. Like I have control of the ground underneath me. Like everything is just perfect right now. And he's like, dude, I see it. And, that just kind of propelled me, and it got my mental state where I was like, we got this, let's go rip some starts and let's see what happens. And, that's how it all started. That first moto, just ripped that start and got that position because I it'd be really tough to race that track and move forward, where, you're not I wasn't a risk taker this year. That's for sure. And I did my best riding when I was out front.
And maybe that's what I meant before was like, there was times where you just said, you're not going to risk it all to make a pass on one of these kids that's already kind of on the ragged edge, Yeah. So Moto 2, a little bit different story. Cause obviously you get another great hole shot. You're right at the front. Now this time Joel is in the mix. Joel's pissed off from Moto 1. And you and him, like it got dicey there for a sec, Chad.
Yeah. So ripped a start.
It was like old times.
Led a lap or two. And then Joel, like I felt the pressure coming, like when he like jumped out at me on this roller, and I was taking this like outside to outside line, and like I felt him there. I'm like, well, I'm gonna take my line there and see what happens. And he got up alongside of me down this kind of high speed, like little like tabletop section. And he just came in there super hot, and like, he like brake checked me into the turn, like where I couldn't I was kind of like, if you want to pass me, just go on ahead and, get away from me. Like I don't want anything to do with you this moto. And he came in there and brake checked me and like pushed me wide. And once he did that, I was like mother effer, I'm going to come back on you. And then once I like made that attempt at him again, then I just was like, all right, chill out. Let's ride this thing home in second. I felt like Zach behind me, but I was just kind of pacing off of him and just kind of keeping that gap. And he was riding really well. I would say like Zach was definitely coming on, towards the end of the season. And
he was.
And I just, I could see like Joel was kind of checking back, see if I was going to come with him or not. And I was like, I just don't need anything to do with you this moto. And, you go collect max points for the moto. And, I was kind of banking on my starts all day to be there. And it helped me each moto to get the end goal. But man, like once I brought home that second moto in second, I'm like, all right, I gotta go fifth or better. If Joel wins the last moto.
Yeah.
And I was just kind of playing that scenario, knowing who I was racing with. And like, that's just kind of like, managing the day from there. I think the first moto was like my strongest moto because I was going for the win.
Yeah.
And then after that, I was kind of playing the game of like managing points from there.
For sure. I mean, everything changes. That first moto, you obviously win, and like just like you said, you're going for it. You have no other thought in your mind in that moment other than winning that moto. Then you realize what's going on behind you, and it's funny you say it that way because I had the same exact thoughts. I'm like, okay, now I mean, he's not going to manage to the point that he's not going to do as best as he can, but now he's more in management mode because in a 3 moto format. You're not going to risk it all anymore. So it's funny that you explain it that way. So that first moto, you get this win. Second moto, the notable part was this little interaction with Joel. And like I said, there was a little bit of aggression there just for a moment.
Yeah.
And then you backed it down.
Yeah. And I didn't know, like somebody said something to me, like Joel was upset with me about the first moto hole shot. And I was like, man, like, why would he be upset with me? I ripped the start and like, I don't know. I'm still unclear of like why he would have been mad, but I think he might've been just upset about the whole situation more than anything.
I think so too, because Chad, as that second motor is playing out, you could see the aggression. You could see Joel was angry. You could see like there was a little bit of the hand gestures going on. Like there was like not necessarily towards you, but like after he wins, it's like a younger Joel again. Like we've been past this for a while. And then and I remember, I don't know if I said it to somebody or if I just thought it to myself. And I'm like, listen, Joel, like nobody was questioning if you were the fastest guy, right? like it just played out the way that it did. You got taken on the first corner. You got collected in the first corner, I should say. Yeah. And then it seemed like things cooled off after that, but there was a little bit of aggression there for a second. So I'm like, okay, Chad, stay clear of that. And then, I knew that you must have known going into that third moto what you needed to do. At the same time, the young guys did not make it easy on you, Chad. Man, that third moto, especially down the stretch, it was she was tight, and you guys were racing hard.
Yeah. I'll walk you through that last moto, and man, we came out of the start. Joel and I were trying to battle for that start, and Joel went into that first turn, and he kind of gave me the push out going into that first start. And I was like, okay, like, the turn goes here, like you should turn down and, just take your start. And, but luckily, like I came out right behind him, and like with him, like kind of nudging me out a little bit, it caused like the rest of the pack kind of bunch up, get closer. And over there in between that split lane basically after the first turn, the horseshoe of it, there's a split lane there. And I believe Zach Decker, came up and he just smacked me so hard. Like I was going outside and then following it and then inside. And I think that he came around that inside and he like faded and he just hit me so hard. And I was like, oh, that was a bad contact. It almost pushed me off the track and went over that next roller, and the next right. Somebody else tagged me like going off the jump, the next tabletop. And I was like, what is going on? Like
I don't
so many hits. Yeah. So many hits right now. Yeah. So Joel's out front, I'm following him, and he was starting to kind of try to bunch a little bit and like kind of make the pace slow down a little bit. And I was like, man, just go. Like I would kind of keep off of him. Like I wasn't engaging with him at all. Like I was kind of holding back, especially where I knew where lines were funneling. So I'd like gain that little bit of gap from him where eventually he was like, all right, I'm just going to take off and go. Yeah. So I was like, all right, sweet. Now I can race a little bit and try to just ride my race. And then Mason Jackson was behind me. And we come around the finish line, and I'm like kind of running like a wide line to like crossing up the off camber. And he came in on the inside and he just smacked my rear wheel. And you're like fourth gear licked around that thing. And once he did that like kind of ruined my like any sort of like push that moto. Like where I was like, okay, like go around me, go. And then Brandon came, came rolling by, and he came through, and then I had Max on me, and I'm like, all right, Max, like, I don't know if you know, but you're sitting in a podium position, you're good. But I knew, like, I seen like behind Max, like I had some space behind him, and I was just like, all right, I'm going to try and ride and have Max help me push me around the track. So I'm not like losing any more positions than I need to. And
Yeah.
ended up finishing that moto in fourth, which secured me for the overall win. But man, like that moto was like the longest moto, even though it was like, the 8-lap sprint or whatever he did, it felt like a 30-minute moto, just out there, just like, they can throw the flag anytime now, because I'm just like been just banged around all moto, and then, just trying to bring this thing home and racing not to lose it at that point.
We'll get right back to the show, but now a word from our sponsors. And thank you for listening to these ads. Without these great companies, none of this would be possible. Show your support for the people who support us. The official tire choice of Digging Deep, CST tires are the choice of ATV racing's elite on the track, in the woods, and every other terrain. CST tires swept the ATV racing world in 2022 as Joel Hetrick, Bryson Neal, and Bo Barron rode their Pulse MXR and Pulse HT tires to an ATV Pro Motocross title, GNCC XC1 Pro title, and 10th ATV Pro Works Racing title, respectively. Led by champion Joel Hetrick and podium contenders Bryce Ford, Jeffrey Rastrelli, and Nick Janusa, CST's Pulse MXR tire is the most trusted tire in ATV motocross today. Available in soft and standard compounds, the Pulse MXR offers the highest level of traction, most predictable cornering, and superior wear characteristics when compared to the competition. And did I mention they have a contingency program as well? Visit shop.csttires.com to join the CST takeover today, or prepare to be beat by someone who did. The best of the best choose CST. Do you? You know we're Team Blue Crew here at the Digging Deep ATVMX Podcast, as the Yamaha YFZ 450R is the official ATV of Digging Deep. In a move started by 8-time ATVMX Pro Class National Champion Chad Wienen, who with his next championship will become the winningest champion in ATV motocross history, we are living in ATV racing's YFZ 450R era. Alongside Wienen, 7-time GNCC XC1 Pro ATV National Champion Walker Fowler welcomed a pair of new champions to the Yamaha Champions Club, as the podium-proven Yamaha YFZ 450R proved to be the winning choice for Joel Hetrick and Bryson Neal. This unprecedented success for the YFZ 450R, its unrivaled quality and performance, and the clear fact that Yamaha is the leading OEM supporter of ATV racing has resulted in a complete Yamaha takeover within the sport quad market. Evident by the continuation of Yamaha's Blue Crew Racer Support Program, Yamaha riders will once again cash in on payout and prize opportunities in 2023, including a chance to win a brand new YFZ 450R. For more info, head over to YamahaBlueCrew.com. Follow Yamaha Outdoors, as well as the new Blue Crew official channel on social media, and check out Yamaha's full proven off-road lineup at YamahaOutdoors.com today. SSI Decals, your way. SSI Decals sets the standard with the best looking decals, graphics kits, and vinyl wraps in the industry. Established in 1947, SSI took shape as an offshoot of their parent company by doing a little work for local pro Chad Wienen. Nearly 2 decades later, and fueled by a passion for ATVs, the company has flourished into one of ATV Moto's most recognized brands. From ATV Motocross, SSI has expanded into graphics and design work for top racers in GNCC, Works Racing, Pro Motocross and Supercross, Off-Road, and more, headlined by 8-time world champion Top Fuel drag racer Clay Milliken. Whether your project is big or small, SSI Decals will make your identity stick. Get started today at SSIDecals.com and use code DIGGINGDEEP10 for 10% off at checkout. Things are about to get sick. The Digging Deep ATVMX podcast is brought to you in part by DID and their wide range of championship-winning chains. From the street to the track and everywhere in between, DID chains are designed to give you the optimal riding experience with great performance and increased chain life. Consistent to the core, pick up your box of reliability today. DID, what drives you? For over 150 years, Valvoline has been dedicated to constant improvement and innovation across all disciplines of racing. As a proud member of Team Valvoline for nearly a decade, I have witnessed their unwavering commitment to pushing the boundaries of performance. Valvoline has sponsored some of the greatest names in motorsports, solidifying their position as a powerhouse within the industry. Being a part of this historically great team has been an incredible privilege. When it comes to my equipment, whether it's my daily commuting vehicles, race quads, or anything in between, I trust nothing but Valvoline. terrain. Their range of products and lubricants consistently deliver increased horsepower, durability, and engine life. I'm excited to announce Valvoline's breakthrough in performance, Valvoline Ultimate Power Sports. With up to 8 times stronger rust protection and 50% better wear protection, this cutting-edge formula ensures your ATV's engine runs smoother and longer for the ultimate ride. Tackle rugged terrains with confidence knowing your ATV's engine is equipped with the best protection available. Ready to experience the next level of performance? Head over to shop.valvolineglobal.com and use code DIGGINGDEEP10 at checkout to unlock an exclusive 10% off on your purchase. Don't miss out on this limited time offer to enhance your ATV's performance with Valvoline's Ultimate Power Sports engine oil.
Hey everyone, this is Larry Mills, president of DP Brakes North America and proud partner of the Digging Deep ATVMX Podcast. We at DP Brakes are a longtime supporter of ATV racing and the world leader in sintered brake technology, dominating the ATV world for decades by supporting the best four-wheeled racers on the planet. This year's lineup includes Jeff Rastrelli, Mark Baldwin and Baldwin Motorsports, Ford Brothers Racing, Nick Janusa, and many more, including Mr. Digging Deep himself, Cody Jansen, plus all the top 17 GNCC pros such as 7-time champion Walker Fowler, Bryson Neal, Hunter Hart, Cole Richardson, Jared McClure, Adam McGill, and previous champion Chris Borich. These top riders continue to appreciate the high performance and impressive durability that their DP brakes have to offer, products that ultimately help place them on top of the podium week after week. DP brakes are available through www.dp-brakes.com, or you can purchase them through your local Parts Unlimited stocking dealer, or you can even message us, myself, Larry Mills, or DP Brakes on Instagram or Facebook. And if you have any questions about product or sponsorship support, please ask us. We are waiting for you. Join the best ATV riders in the world equipped with DP brakes, and have a great year, everyone.
Headlined by their 4130 Chromoly, Launderville Steel and Concrete Supply is a full-service steel supplier of new and surplus steel, aluminum, and stainless steel products. This racing family-owned full metal service center and concrete product supplier comes with over 30 years of experience serving the entire United States from their central Midwest location. As the #1 choice for nationwide shipments and with available next-day delivery in select areas, LSE has you covered near or far. 4130 is not just the chromoly tubing and plate used in the building of chassis for an array of motorsports applications, but it is also the name of the newest addition to the Pro Paddock, with riders Jaden JJ Launderville and Max Lindquist, introducing the new 4130 Motorsports team. Launderville Steel offers a large selection of material for any project, including their concrete division that can supply everything you need to complete your next business or personal project. For a quote or more info, visit laundervillesteel.com today or give them a call at 715-675-6193. That's 715-675-6193. With the desire to keep you in the race, Ultimate Poly Products offers the Ultimate Protection Collection of case savers, chain sliders, intake manifolds, and more. Founded on quality in 1998, this family-owned and operated business produces products created by racers for racers. These industry-leading products are proudly made and manufactured in the USA, with their case savers being made of the highest quality American-made polyurethane on the market and designed to completely conform to your engine case to help prevent case damage from a thrown chain, because no one wants to be a spectator on race day. Join top pro riders like Bryson Neal, Walker Fowler, John Glotta Jr., Adam McGill, Cole Richardson, and more by using UPP Racing products. Use discount code DIGGINGDEEP15 at uppracing.com to save on your next order. Ultimate Poly Products, made to last longer so you can ride more. Thanks for listening, and remember to support our partners. Now back to the show. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and again, like those young guys, they were all going for it in this third moto, and I'm like, man, like Chad, like of all the things that Chad's got going on right now, he doesn't need, a pack of bees behind him. Yeah, and just like you said, I was thinking the same thing. I'm like, Max, you're in podium position too. Like there was times when it looked like, and obviously Max wasn't going to collect you, but like it looked like he was going for it all, and I'm like, man, nobody needs to do this right now. So I'm glad that obviously that it all worked out the way that it did, but you end up finishing fourth, you secure this win. It was pretty fun because we had said a number of times, and that's probably its origin is everybody knowing the number 66, being that you were stuck at 66 there for career wins. And Rodney said it a number of times over the weekend. We heard it a lot. And to shift that number from 66 to 67 is pretty freaking awesome. And I got to imagine that feeling standing on top of the box one final time. We're just watching some of the footage from Briarcliff, having dinner before we sat down for this conversation. And you can see the emotion on your face, like, man,
oh, yeah.
I did it. So tell me what those emotions were like taking the YFZ to the top of the box one final time, knowing you're not going to line up as an AMA ATV pro probably ever again. What was that like?
Oh, it's incredible, Cody. Just like, I never felt so complete, just like having that moment of just being like, I know this is going to be the last one. And then you go out on top winning your last one. And it was just like, I couldn't explain a better feeling, like just what had gone on that day and what had gone on this season and seasons past and the build up to it. And, it kind of like, it's kind of just, how can that happen? Like I've been struggling quite a bit all year.
Mm-hmm.
And, actually just going back to like, good friend of mine, Jeremy Martin, dude, his last race tour this year, and he went out winning his last race. And like, I was so happy for him. And I messaged him like, dude, like, that is incredible that you did that. And he's like, man, like, he's like, you're up next, man. Like this is your last, this is going to be it. And I told him like, hey man, like you inspired me to do what I did that day.
Wow.
And he yeah. So it was really, really cool. And just like an all-time thing that happened, because, I've had such success in the sport, and to go out on my terms, my way that I want to do it, and go out on top to stop the winning streak. And, like,
mm-hmm.
It was funny, like that night, like we had a couple of drinks after the race, and Joel came over, and you could tell that he was still a little like kind of not necessarily sore about it, but like quiet, like,
mm-hmm.
Usually Joel's like a pretty, very, very good guy to talk to, like
mm-hmm.
after the race, especially like weekend bench race and stuff like that. And,
yeah.
I was just like, man, like you've been kicking my teeth in all year. And it was pretty cool, like pretty awesome for me that I got the last one, like,
yeah.
like kind of just trying to joke him with him. He's like, I know, like it would have been pretty cool to go, back-to-back years, undefeated. I'm like, what better way to do it? We battled a lot of our career together, and, I guess I might as well be the one to stop that.
it's only fitting, I feel like.
Yes. Yeah.
It's only fitting.
But yeah, I mean, that's an unbelievable feat, that he's done. And, like, even at my dominant times, like I wasn't anywhere close to that, of doing that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's because of like the way I raced to win weekends and win championships,
mm-hmm.
but he's on a whole nother level of just winning everything. So like props to him and, the team behind him. And it's been fun. Just having all those races, against the guys. And, I'm going to miss, I don't know what I'm going to miss the most. I think it's most of like after the race, talking with them, maybe even autographs, just talking with them about the race weekends and talking about moments throughout the weekend. And I think that's going to be like the things that I miss the most about those moments, because like this year was, like I said, a lot of nerves. It kind of drove me to step away from the sport, because like I was riding at a high level that I wasn't able to ride at. And it's like, yep, this is the time. And I knew, like I said, at sunset that this was time for me. And, it's been a fun ride.
It makes me feel so good for you to say, standing on the podium, that you felt complete, because what an amazing thing to be able to say as a professional athlete after all the time, all the years you did it, to be able to not only end it on top, that's amazing. And like you said, it's storybook. I was there for Jeremy Martin's, walk off at Millville. I was there obviously for yours. And it's funny you say that because I had the exact same feeling watching you both do that. It was awesome. But for you to be able to have done all that and to walk off, which is storybook, but then to be able to say, I felt complete, and to go out on your terms after, you and I share that, we love the Doug Gus and the Tim Farrs and the Gary Dentons and all the people that we all looked up to. But you went on to have a career just as long as any of them, if not, if not just about longer than anybody's at that very peak level. And after all the dust has settled, to go out on, under your own power to make your decision when you want to be done, and then to do it with a win, man, like it doesn't physically doesn't get any better than that. It's Hollywood. It's a script for a movie.
Yeah, for sure. And, just like you said, like, feeling complete. Got a lot of people ask me like, you sure you want to do this? And I'm like, this is my time. Like, this is the way I want to do it. No better way
to end it. Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. This is the way I would want to do it. And like, I'm so glad that I, like, after my injury in 2024, gave it a go to come back, because, if I would have like stopped then, I think it would have like drove me nuts. Like, could I still do it? Could I still do it? And then, to have this final win, I'm like, yeah, I can still do it. And
and I don't have to do it anymore.
Yes. Yeah. I don't have to. I can watch these guys, help other riders.
Yeah.
And, I still had this good little joke with my son. Like, Lakin, your papa's still a badass, dude.
I love that, man. I love that. So, did you hear and I'm sure because we posted on social, but that little clip from episode 166, your comment, we talked about, Mark I've talked to Mark on the show, and he says he's listening to 166. He hears you comment about, that he was around at the beginning and that Wayne still comes around and all these things. And upon your comment, Mark calls up Wayne Meridian from PP. And in that moment, Wayne books a flight to be there at Briarcliff. And so tell me about that, because that to me, that clip, like, legendary to hear that from Mark and how it all went down. And I hope that you guys got to share a moment at Briarcliff, because what a special thing.
Yeah, like that's really cool. And I did see that, and like seeing the emotion from Mark too, like, like to see that come out of people, like, it's that you really meant something to them, and to even the sport and everything. But, to have, Wayne from PP, he doesn't come to many events. I haven't seen him at an event for maybe 4 or 5 years or more. And, he came, he's like, Chad, he got to there at the track, and it was before anything really started. And he shook my hand. He's like, Chad, good luck today. And I'm like, man, Wayne, so awesome you're here. Like, he's like, I wouldn't miss it. And I was like, how cool is that? And like, Wayne and I, we go back. He was the first guy to give me a set of shocks to ride. And, that, like, just knowing that it comes full circle, he's always been in my corner. Even when I didn't ride his product, he was just a fan and wanted to be just, that means a lot. And he's a good friend. And, I know that there's more to this than racing and winning, and it's about the people that you meet along the way.
Yeah. So special. Again, to hear the way that all that played out is amazing. I'm so glad that those guys made a point to be there. I'm assuming it was a who's who. There was all kinds of people that I saw from the tower that I was like, they're here because it's Chad's last race. And there was a number of other guys retiring, but there was people that I saw that I'm like, they are here 100% for Chad. So, did anybody else come out of the woodwork for you that you were stoked to see there? I know I don't want to put you on the spot and have you not name everybody, but
yeah, just like, like seeing Upperman, like guys I used to race with, Casey Martin, Ryan Barnes stopped by and said, hey, and like, even people like on Friday came by and I was like, I haven't seen you for, 15 years. And
Wow.
they're like, man, we're just here. We want to see you go off. And like that's super special. And like, I just put myself in their shoes. Like, I sometimes struggle like to even go to like my nephew's ball games that are 2 hours away from home. I'm like, yeah, maybe we won't go to that one. Like for people to travel several hours and maybe get on a plane ride to come watch me, and it's a testament what you meant to them and like how you affected them and the friendships that you had. And I just know that it's very special, and I'm glad that everything worked out the way that it did. But I think most of all, like Tim Farr was my OG, and he's the guy. And for him to be the grand marshal that weekend, and I was never a guy to like ask somebody for jerseys, but I was like, Timmy, like you're my like ATV hero growing up, and I'm like, I want to do a jersey swap with you today. And like he gave me the jerseys that he wore. I gave him my last win jersey. I gave that to him.
Wow.
And like that was a very cool moment with him. You couldn't ask for a better way for it to go down. And like it is kind of like a dream. I was living my dream that I've been hoping that would come true.
Yeah, perfect day, man. Perfect day. You hit the nail on the head. It was emotional for everybody to see the emotions from Mark and people like that. It was crazy. So perfect day. So then all that goes down and it's perfect. And you walk off and everything is great in the storybook and all that. And then you have to shift gears because there's another race out there for the Quadcross of Nations. And I would assume that, after a year ago, you had been a part of, obviously, and you were still a part of the Quadcross of Nations in 2024, but not at the same capacity as a rider. So I would assume that pulling, that jersey over your head with a single digit number and wearing the red, white, and blue one more time after not being able to do it in 2024, I would assume that had to be a pretty special feeling too. Maybe a little bit, I don't want to say difficult, but everything was so great. What a great exclamation point Briarcliff was. You had to re-rack it and go do it, against the world on the world stage. But I would assume that meant a lot to you doing this one more time. You were a pillar of this whole Quadcross of Nations thing from the very first year. So I would assume doing it one more time, Chad, I'm assuming that ended up being a really great feeling for you as well.
It was. And like kind of going back to Briarcliff, like I said, I've never felt so complete. And then I got to reset myself to kind of go back to battle again. I think that was the toughest part because I was so on a high of like, I can't do anything better than this. I kind of want to just not ride at all for a while. But I had two things on the docket. I had Ponte Vaux, and then so I went over to France with Alexis and the report team, rode with Harry Walker and Christopher Tabarin.
Yep.
That was 2 weeks after that. But prior to that, we drove the motorhome up to Canada for a family holiday that we do every year.
Okay.
And we did that for 5 days. And so I kind of got to chill out, relax, absorb the whole Briarcliff win.
Which is good. I'm glad.
Yeah, it was perfect time. And then the kids went back to school. So I was like, okay, I came back home. I flew over to France early, and Danica flew over. She got the kids kind of off to school the first couple of days, and she flew over on Thursday before the event. Okay. We did that awesome event. It was great because it was very, very chill. Like obviously I was on a really good team, but I was like, didn't have like a whole lot of stress on my shoulders. I was fine. Like I was actually riding, I sent a bunch of parts over to Alexis, and we put together an awesome machine, and he did a great job. Him and his team did. And we raced that event. We ended up getting second, and we had zero issues. We changed the rear set of tires. That's the only thing we did. Added fuel. Okay. Add a little bit of oil, awesome. So it's like, it was like a great weekend. Enjoyed it a lot. And even during that race, like I had moments where I was like, was like, man, I'm just going so damn fast. And I'm like, I never would think this way, like I need to just, I don't want anything to happen. Like I'm so complete, like I'm good. I don't want to push the envelope. I want to just get home safe, do that. But, like I had great laps, but I had like times where I get behind people and I'm just like not knowing where they're going to go. And I'm just kind of checking up. I'm kind of joke that Thomas had with me was like, it's like, hey, you're like Maverick. You're like, you don't want to engage after what happened to Goose. Like you're not engaging with people. I'm like, yeah, like it's hard. Like I'm having trouble with that.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a whole thing where like that race, I think it affected me. But once I got by myself, I was fast.
Which that's a huge part with that event because there's lappers constantly. And
yes.
You're basically going to pack the whole time,
Yep. Yeah. So that definitely affected me on that. But I think it really helped a lot when I rode at night because I wasn't focused on like, I was focused on the guy in front of me to get around them because I seen the next light. I kind of had like less worry, I just, I think that's one of the things that, I just wanted to get through the season safe. And that was like the thing. And then, after that event, it was about 3 weeks later in the Nations. So I had, Max was kind of my trading partner through that. We went to a good sand track that I got some really good, like riding in. I felt excellent on the track. And so I was like, okay, like I feel ready to go. We fly over there. We actually fly over a week early. We do 2 weeks early. We go with the family. We go fly into Belgium and do kind of like just relaxing with the family, do all that.
Okay.
And then we show up to the event at the Nations and, like I feel good. It's low stress and we do our practice day. Everything's good. So like, I'm like just kind of taking it all in, one day at a time.
Can we talk about how was that the gnarliest track you ever rode, dude? Because some of those pictures and I was announcing this event too. So as I'm watching this track get rougher and rougher and rougher, man. And then actually some of the still shots that I saw later made it look even worse than what the video did. I've never seen a racetrack like that, man. Like there's moguls in the middle of these straightaways. And again, better than I, so I'll let you speak on this more educated than I can. But some of these moguls in the middle of this racetrack are like, they're a death trap. Like I've never seen anything like it. So you can tell me what the race day was like. We talked in depth about Quadcross of Nations on the last episode, so we don't got to go crazy. But yeah, it was unlike anything I think I've ever seen before, Chad.
Yeah, it was like you said, it was a bomb field, rough kitten out there. But I think with us, like we went into that race day and even into qualifying day, like yeah, we were like. We weren't perfect. Well, obviously, we weren't perfect on like really anything that we had going on, but we knew that I think that like each of us felt like we could manage what we had to do, what we could do what we had to do to get the win. And that track, how it kept developing, like even my last race, that qualifying race, I was like, dude, like this track is kicking my butt right now. Like my machine's not meant to be on this track and ride it the way that I want to ride it right now. And I think that was kind of like another thing where like a lot of guys told us like, hey, you're going to need some longer suspension. You're going to need these tires. And I think that we kind of took it as like we can make up for it. We'll be fine. Yeah. And, I think if things, kind of went the opposite way, we didn't necessarily have like the issues that we had. And I think with me personally, my issues were I was not willing to push that envelope. I was going to circulate every single lap, do the best that I could to, not blow it for the team and blow it for myself and my family. Yeah. And, but yes, the track was insanely gnarly. I think the most mind-blowing part was there was this back section, had a big bowl turn, and then you went down this hill, and then you went up another hill. Mm-hmm. And I'd never seen braking bumps or not. I mean, I don't know if they were braking, acceleration, or what they were. They were just mountains of dirt going down the hill, and I felt like I had to go roll all the way through it.
Mm-hmm.
And when I saw some of the I seen like Manfred, Kevin, like a couple others just blitz down that, and I was like, dude, like I cannot do that right now. And I tried a couple of times, and I had just some moments that it was like you had to hold on to death grip, because if not, you were just gonna bomb yourself apart. And like I was not in that way for me to do anything like that. And I think each of us had our own issues that kept us from bringing it home ultimately.
And that is where we are going to hit pause on this one, part one of our latest conversation with Chad Wienen. I don't know about you, but I can't get enough of this stuff. I can't get enough of this guy. Chad Wienen is the best. Part two will drop in the next few days, so stay tuned for that. It's just as good as this first half. Thanks to all of our partners, CST Tires. Go to shop.csttires.com today. Yamaha, thanks to Blue Crew. Thanks to SSI Decals, Valvoline, DID Racing Chain, Lauderville Steel Enterprises and Concrete Supply, DP Brakes, Impact Solutions, and Ultimate Poly Products, UPP Racing. Use code DiggingDeep15 at uppracing.com. Support the brands that support our show, and don't forget to use those codes to save. Find it all on our website, and be sure to click that Rocky Mountain ATVMC banner for all your gear and parts needs and to help us out. And most of all, thanks to you guys for listening. Shop our Digging Deep merch at shop.diggingdeepatvmx.com. Find all things Digging Deep ATV Fantasy related at atvfantasy.com. Update on that prize draft is just about to kick off for all of our top 20 finishers in 2025 ATV Fantasy. And ATV Fantasy 2026 is right around the corner. Leave us a voicemail and we'll play it on the show, 920-569-3519. If you're looking for another easy way to help support us, visit our website and click the Patreon or Buy Me a Coffee buttons. This allows you to set up a one-time or monthly contribution to support our efforts. Follow the show on social media, Digging Deep ATVMX Podcast, and myself, Cody Jansen. For additional content, coverage, and more fun stuff, is we have a bunch of really fun things coming up in the remainder of the off season here. I got a bunch of stuff planned. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Amazon Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, and more. Wherever you find podcasts, you will find the Digging Deep ATVMX Podcast. All episodes, additional podcast providers, sponsored links, and discount codes, show merchandise, fantasy info, and more can all be found on our website, diggingdeepatvmx.com, so check that out today. Be a friend, tell a friend. Please download, subscribe, rate, review, and share. And with that, for Chad Wienen, Brooke Jansen, Dallas Jansen, and I'm your host, Cody Jansen. Thanks for listening to and making us the most listened to podcast in ATV racing, with more than 292,000 downloads last month in 141 total countries. Until next time, thanks for joining us in Digging Deep with the Stars of ATV Motocross. Things are crashing and burning here at the Digging Deep podcast, much like the Titanic.
Those guys were hauling ass, for real.
I remember watching Doug Gus, I don't know who it was, Steel City, running the same times Friday afternoon as James Stewart was on Sunday back then. It was mental. I've never seen quads go that fast.
Quad dudes are freaking gnarly.